So, at CinemaCon, not only did we get tons of Sonic movie news, but we also got a little bit on a SpongeBob movie as well. It's a Wonderful Sponge. And specifically, we learned that SpongeBob will be traveling to Atlantic City? Okay.
In my bag,
Quick shout out to Lazy Creator. This is a user that's in my Discord server, and this person drew a couple of pictures of Metal Duckles. This first one is just a basic picture of Metal Duckles, but I'm loving it. It looks like a complete maniac here, which I really dig because that's the true nature of Metal Duckles. The second picture, we see that Metal Duckles is sitting here taking a look at Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. So this is so cute. So thank you so much for this. And yes, this is exactly what my house looks like. This is exactly how I look when I sit in the chair. But yeah, thanks so much. But anyway, hello there beautiful human, my name is RidersDX and welcome to my channel, where today we're finally talking about something SpongeBob related. You know, I actually feel like I haven't talked about SpongeBob in what feels like forever, and it's not because I haven't wanted to, it's just because there hasn't been really anything I could comment on in terms of like new things. So I've been working on some SpongeBob content that's on older stuff, but that won't be coming out for a while. I've just been so busy with like all the Sonic and Crash content that's been coming out recently, and I'm trying to get into Mario too, so I'm a very busy person. But I did hear this news about the SpongeBob movie and I just had to make a video about it. So CinemaCon happened this past week and we saw a bunch of previews of a whole bunch of different movies. One of them included a Sonic movie, of course, but I was surprised to see that there was also some details on the SpongeBob movie, It's a Wonderful Sponge, because you know, I kind of assumed that there wouldn't be anything because the movie doesn't come out till next year, so it just seems to be very early to show anything at all, and doesn't look like they actually showed much. I think this movie was a part of like a reel, and then they also revealed some information about the plot that we didn't know beforehand. So it's like Christmas basically. We got to learn a little bit about both of the big movies I'm covering right now on this channel, so that's really awesome. And I just realized this, but Paramount is making both the Sonic movie and the SpongeBob movie. I think that's just funny, so I guess you can call my YouTube channel the Paramount channel for the time being. I just found that to be very funny. But okay, let me take a look at this excerpt that I got from a blog called Nick Alive, which is a really awesome website and blog about Nickelodeon. They report on so many different kinds of news, so it was kind of great to just get this information from one place. So here's a quick little paragraph that revealed some of the new details about the plot that we didn't know before. The official logline for SpongeBob movie It's a Wonderful Sponge, the third SpongeBob SquarePants movie based on Nickelodeon's iconic animated series, reads: SpongeBob and Patrick go on a rescue mission to save Gary, who's been kidnapped by Poseidon and taken to the lost city of Atlantic City. The movie will review the first time our beloved characters as kids met at camp, a magical moment that brings meaning to the power of true friendship. So I'm actually pretty confused by what we have found out here from this very small paragraph. So we obviously knew about the latter half. We knew that the movie would be a bit of an origin story as we kind of see how SpongeBob and his friends meet for the first time, even though we already know how they met and they weren't babies when they met. So yeah, I don't know about that. That's still something that I'm very iffy about, but I guess we'll just have to wait until we get actual footage and actual details about the plot before I can like really judge. But what I want to turn your focus to is the first sentence of this paragraph, which basically said that SpongeBob and Patrick will be the main stars of this movie first of all, which kind of is a callback to the original SpongeBob movie where the whole movie was very focused on SpongeBob and Patrick. And I thought that movie was great, you know. I personally love it more than the second movie. The second movie is still very good, but I think the first movie just has such a special place in my heart because it really just emphasized what SpongeBob really means to me. The lesson that he taught in that movie was so impactful for me as a kid, and it's, you know, you could argue that it's even more impactful for me as an adult. You know, just like no matter how old you get and no matter how many responsibilities you have, always try to maintain that young, hyper energetic side to yourself that seems like they're 6 years old in age, because that's truly where you're gonna find the most joy in life. And this is probably the main reason I love SpongeBob so much, and that's why the first movie is just such an impactful movie for me. But I'm going a little bit off topic, so let me get back to this sentence. But yeah, it looks like SpongeBob and Patrick will be on a mission to save Gary, who for some reason gets kidnapped by Poseidon and taken to the lost city of Atlantic City. So I actually made this mistake yesterday. I thought that it said lost city of Atlantis, so I was kind of assuming that we were actually gonna get King Neptune to come back in this movie. You know, I'm not sure if it was gonna be the King Neptune from the TV show or the King Neptune from the first movie, but I was thinking that King Neptune would be coming back in some form. But now I reread the sentence and it actually says lost city of Atlantic City. So as you all know, Atlantic City is an actual town in the United States, and so that also makes sense with the fact that this movie is gonna be completely CGI. So of course that means that the 3D models will be really useful when SpongeBob and Patrick go up to the surface. But I wonder why they chose to have them go to Atlantic City, and I wonder if Poseidon is from Atlantic City. So is this Poseidon like a god in the traditional sense that we're thinking, or is this Poseidon like I don't know, just a regular dude who runs like a shack in Atlantic City? Like, I don't know. I think it might be, it's obviously a joke that they're choosing Atlantic City, because I think a lot of people are gonna make the same mistake that I made and think of it as Atlantis. And so when I first thought it was Atlantis, I thought, man, they really love using Atlantis. You know, there was there in like one of those first season episodes, they made a whole special about Atlantis SquarePanties, and now they're having like a lost city of Atlantis. But no, it's the lost city of Atlantic City. So I'm very curious as to why Poseidon has kidnapped Gary. It just seems so random. I wonder if it's just some kind of misunderstanding where like for some reason they think Gary is like the chosen one or something, and that they must take him to some weird place to do some weird ritual. I don't know. I'm just kind of brainstorming here. But what I'm really questioning here is how this connects to the origin story that we heard before. So is the first time they meet as kids going to be like just a certain part of the movie and then it moves on to the actual plot of rescuing Gary? Or are they gonna rewrite how SpongeBob got Gary too and have SpongeBob have Gary when he was a little baby? I mean, that is possible too, because if they're already rewriting how the origin story is, they might as well like rewrite how SpongeBob met Gary, you know? So that is entirely possible. So I can totally imagine SpongeBob, Patrick, and their friends are at camp, and SpongeBob is talking about Gary, and all of a sudden Gary gets kidnapped by Poseidon, and SpongeBob and Patrick decide to run away from home and travel to the lost city of Atlantic City. And maybe this is SpongeBob and Patrick's first time ever going to the surface, but I think they also had their first time going to the surface in the actual show. So damn, this movie just seems like it's rewriting a bunch of different stuff. And it really is just like a lot of speculation at this point. We don't know for sure what's gonna happen. We don't know to what extent this plot point is going to take over the movie. There's just so many things here that we don't know, but I'm kind of coming up with a bunch of different things that could happen, and I'm not sure if I'm a fan of any of them. So I think we're just gonna have to hope for the best when the trailer does actually eventually come out for this movie. This movie is currently set to come out in summer 2020, so I imagine we might get something either at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. So it's gonna be a long time until we actually get anything, which is typical, you know? So I totally expected that, but I'd be really curious as to hear what you all think about this. I know it's a very small plot detail, but it's a pretty significant one nonetheless, and there's a lot of conclusions you can make from analyzing it. So I'd be really curious as to hear what you all think about this, and I'm wondering if you all like this plot idea or if you don't like it. And I know actually something very interesting in my previous video about the SpongeBob movie, where I talked about the deleted storyboards that pointed to a different plot of this movie. A lot of people actually had pretty positive reception towards it. A lot of people liked the idea of having like evil cats taking over the land or something, and SpongeBob and his friends running away from them. So I will admit, it did seem very interesting. I just don't know if that would fit like a SpongeBob movie, but I guess weirder things have happened in SpongeBob, so you never know. But okay, y'all, that is pretty much everything. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these, want to see more in the future, follow me on Twitter at RidersCX, or join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. Now this is Riders, and I'm riding out.